you were a brand new country, and I mean this rhetorically, would you be a complete failure in your first few years, or one of the greatest success stories in history? Of course, when it comes to national success stories, I have my own personal bias.
America, fuck yeah!
Huh, yeah, I know. But I'm not talking about the United States. I'm talking about
Singapore, we are Singapore, we will stand together.
Welcome to Waifu History, where pronouns don't mean dick. I'm Belle, your history sensei. And yes, all historical figures are portrayed as ladies. No apologies. I'm talking about Singapore. Not as a miracle, not as something to worship, because Singapore does not begin as a triumph. Before 1965, Singapore is not alone. It is part of Malaysia, a fragile union built on compromise. Singapore is Chinese majority, Malaysia is not. Economic interests clash. Political loyalties fracture, race becomes a pressure point, riots break out, trust collapses. Malaysia decides the risk is too high. Singapore is removed. This is a piece of land so small it's easy to miss on a map. No room for mistakes. And yet, it forces itself into the global economy. Not through luck, not through destiny, but through deliberate choice. On August 9, 1965, Singapore becomes independent. Not through celebration, but through expulsion. Malaysia votes Singapore out, and overnight a city has to function as a country. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew goes on television, and he breaks down. Not because independence is emotional, but because the situation is brutal.
I mean, for me, it is a moment of anguish because all my life, I had believed in merger and the unity of these two territories. Pity, it turned out that we could not achieve multiracialism and integration in Malaysia.
Singapore has no natural resources. No oil, no farmland, no independent water supply. The British military is preparing to leave, and just 1 year earlier, racial riots killed dozens. For ordinary people, this doesn't feel historic, it feels dangerous. Lee Kuan Yew understands something early. Political theory does not matter if people are hungry. He puts Goh Keng Swee in charge of the economy. Goh is not interested in ideology, he's interested in employment. The instruction is simple: create jobs immediately. Singapore opens itself to foreign companies. There are no political conditions, there are no apologies. American electronics firms arrive. Japanese manufacturers follow. European companies come after. The work is basic. Long hours, strict supervision. The wages are paid. Every week. Rent gets paid. Food gets bought. Public arguments slow down. Strikes disappear. Fear does not end, but people can plan their next month, and the country stabilizes. Singapore inherits a public service where bribery is routine. Small payments, quiet favors, everyone understands the rules. Lee Kuan Yew decides the rules have to change. Civil servants are paid high salaries, high enough to live comfortably, high enough to lose. Then the laws change. Anti-corruption rules are enforced across the board. No warnings, no exemptions. Investigators track bank accounts, property, cash movements. Position offers no protection. Seniority offers no protection. When senior officials are charged, they are dismissed. Pensions are lost, careers end. There are no public apologies, no speeches. The system moves on. Citizens test the new rules carefully. Bribes are offered and refused. Applications are processed normally. Permits are issued on schedule. Over time, people stop trying. Corruption becomes risky, compliance becomes routine, and that routine reshapes how the state works. In the 1960s, racial violence nearly breaks the country. Dozens are killed. Neighborhoods turn on each other. The leadership draws a hard conclusion. Racial harmony cannot be voluntary. Public housing is mixed by law. Chinese, Malay, and Indian families are assigned to the same blocks. They use the same lifts, the same corridors, the same schools. Religion is protected. Religious politics are banned. Parties organized by race or faith are restricted. Speeches that inflame tensions are stopped. Permits are denied. Events are cancelled. Offenders are prosecuted. The riots end. This system is not liberal. It is stable. Singapore pushes citizens towards ownership, not dependence. Public housing is designed to be bought, not rented. Families own their own homes. Mandatory savings for the CPF are enforced. Money is deducted from wages every month. Workers take home less pay. The savings are used for housing, healthcare, and retirement. A serious illness does not destroy a family financially. Old age does not mean poverty. Security becomes routine. By the late 1970s, cheap labor stops being enough. Factories start closing, wages go up, expectations rise. Some companies leave, others stay and change. Training becomes stricter. Mistakes matter more. Some workers can't keep up. They are replaced. Others go back to school, learn new skills. No one calls it a choice. You either adapt or you fall behind. Singapore's success does not begin with prosperity. It begins with pressure. Pressure on officials to stay clean, pressure on citizens to work and save, pressure on communities to live together peacefully, pressure on the economy to keep adapting. None of this feels comfortable. But over time, those pressures create something rare. A system that actually works. And from that system, prosperity follows. If you like my content, subscribe. And if you think success should feel easy, this story probably unsettled you. That's fine. See you in the next one!